Welcome in. St0ner Sports Radio, episode number 16. We took a week off for you, but we are back. And in the holiday spirit, we will go over Army-Navy, overtime thriller between the military academies. We'll go over some of the bowl games that have gone on so far, and we will preview some that are still to come. Give you our thoughts again on those. We'll go over the Heisman winner. We'll visit the sportsbook and the transfer portal just getting started. We will touch on that. National Signing Day happened on the 22nd. We'll go over some notables for our favorite programs and see how they're set up for the future. NFL, NBA standings, locks of the week. Joining me right now, Cole Murphy. How are we doing today, man?
Just trying to stay warm, man. Doing good, though. How are you?
Trying to stay warm indeed. It is a frigid 6 degrees outside. And we are here giving all you the action and the insights on what's going on around the country. Let's get into it. Army-Navy, great game. We both picked Navy to win this game. It did not happen. This game went into overtime, and Army gets the job done as Navy fumbles it on the 1-yard line trying to get into the end zone. And Army, all they had to do was set up for a chip shot field goal in overtime to seal the deal for the military men in green. What were your takeaways from this game that everybody always is excited to kind of watch on a weekend where it's the only thing really on college football-wise?
Right, yeah, it's always a great game. Very competitive on both sides. Obviously, Navy not getting it done this year. This game's always close, though. It always, just with how both the mindsets from both teams are. So, I'm not surprised that Army won. Maybe shouldn't find a way. Just obviously should have put up way more points than they even did, even just to have be by that many points not to win. Like, just got to get it done.
Yeah, definitely not good. Navy ended up firing their head coach
Ouch.
after the game. Yeah, they didn't even let him leave the tarmac on the airplane with the team, just canning him after, I think, 15 years of coaching Navy
That's
to
tough.
many a good season. So he'll definitely get another job, but that kind of was the kind of culmination of I guess losing to what people perceive as a very bad Army team.
Yeah, they should have put up way more points, like I was saying earlier. So I'm not surprised they fired that guy, but I just didn't know that was a fact.
Yeah, so that was rough for them. But the same weekend, we had the Heisman winner. It came to fruition. Caleb Williams is your Heisman winner for 2022-2023. We both kind of saw this coming. I would say we saw it coming. I think you had him as the winner. I was still holding on to C.J. Stroud because I'm just a man of my convictions and kind of thought that he had a good season despite some of those games where they didn't play too well. Because Williams had 2 losses. He had two. He had a loss to Ohio State, and that was it. But I mean, I felt like he had done enough resume-wise to warrant it, but it wasn't even close, Mr. Murphy. Williams just blew out the competition by over 800 votes. Second place, though, kind of a stunner. Your boy Max Duggan coming in second place in a lot of these votes, followed by C.J. Stroud and Stetson Bennett rounded out the top 4. What are your takeaways from the winner this year?
Pretty much what I expected. Obviously, had projected that and was having him to win it. I mean, when you have 4,000 passing yards and 43 touchdowns, um, I mean, obviously you're going to get the trophy because that's really what only you do in like trade a player like Road to Glory. Like you don't just get um 4,000 yards, but I think all that had to do with Lincoln Riley and the mindset he brings because he knows what it takes to win a Heisman, obviously. with his past two Heisman winners coming from OU. So, I mean, definitely what I expected. I obviously, you already know how I feel about it. Should have gave the award to Megan to have a chance to win the whole thing, even though they didn't win the championship. I don't think the Big 12 conference championship means very much. I think that the fact that Max Duggan brought his team to a place where they have a chance to go compete for the title, I doubt they beat Michigan, but the fact that they even have a shot, I think it gives some season. That's where my vote would have gone. Obviously, Max Duggan, but can't lie with the numbers. Obviously, the best player in college football. So congrats to Caleb, but should have gone to Max.
Yeah, I
They tried
mean,
to they tried to make it. They tried to make up for it by giving him the Unitas Award. It was like, bro, he deserved the Heisman. Give Caleb Williams the Unitas Award.
yeah, I kind of
Yeah,
agree. I
but
mean, I think that they were definitely trying to make up for the year Max Duggan had given him the Johnny Unitas Award. Um, people think that he kind of got robbed from this whole Heisman thing. I don't know about robbed, um, but he's definitely had a season where um, TCU was not expected to even be any close to this good. So I mean, it was kind of a shock to even have them perform the way they did. I think losing to Kansas State really factored into it. I think that was a big loss for them to take. Um, but yeah, I think that they chose the right guy. He was the most electric guy on the football field, and if it wasn't for a blown out hammy on a 58-yard run, they might have won the Pac-12 championship. So I think that kudos to him for trying to fight through it. But I mean, it just his mobility is what makes him special. And when you take that away from Caleb Williams, you kind of see what he is, and it's just kind of a above average quarterback. Um, but he was banged up, so I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah, I think that's
that's
pretty.
true. It's just it's not my definition of a Heisman. My definition of that what the Heisman committee has as their definition. Obviously, giving it to Caleb Williams is their definition. He put it the most. It's more like a point number system. And my definition for Heisman is like obviously Caleb Williams is a leader, but if you look at Max Duggan, he's really a leader. He took an above average team all the way to the playoffs, and now they have a chance to win it. I think the Heisman. That's what I think of. I don't think of a guy who put up uh, like crazy numbers. I think of a guy who's a true leader and can really take his team to a championship. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the season was kind of unexpected in the way it kind of unraveled. And I think that they did a good job getting to where they are, and we'll see on the 31st whether or not they can get the job done. So
I
we'll
hope so.
definitely
I hope
talk
so.
about that.
Michigan's very beatable. Michigan is
Yeah,
very
they're
beatable.
very beatable. So it's possible.
Illinois, they won by a field goal.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on which Michigan team you get. And I think
Yeah,
that's kind of
that's true.
that's kind of what'll dictate the way that game goes. Um,
If Michigan plays how they played against Ohio State, though, TCU doesn't have a chance.
yeah,
But
I
we
would
don't
agree
know
with
what
that
type of Michigan team we're gonna get.
exactly, and we don't know how that TCU offense will do against that Michigan defense. I mean, it could,
It's a good point.
yeah, it could be a little bit eye opening for Michigan fans. We'll see how that goes. So let's get into sportsbook lock of the week stuff. We only had that one game of Navy, which we both lost. So that brought you to
Ouch.
500 at 35 and 35, and I am 42 and 28. Just a rough
not,
go at it.
not me looking like OU this season.
And locks of the week, we are both losers. And locks of the week, neither of us get any of them right. All of our locks fall
Yeah.
through. It was it was a sad ordeal. So the locks obviously were Navy at -2.5. That didn't happen. They lose by 3.
Oh,
Um,
goodness.
now this is where things get interesting because these games I felt like were pretty decently picked games here. So you went with the Titans -4, which I thought was a good pick because they were playing the Jaguars. So I thought, hey, no way they
They
lose this
lost
game.
by. They
And
lost
they
by.
didn't just lose that game; they lost by 14, 36 to 22. And so the Titans couldn't hack it against Jacksonville, who after tonight's win against the Jets are a playoff team. So hats
Wow.
off to the Jags for making the playoffs tonight.
Wow.
Your
Hey,
other,
I was telling everybody this way long ago, back in like 2018. I knew Trevor Lawrence was a next level guy, and I know the Jags aren't anything crazy, but you remember how bad the Jags were? And now I got Trevor Lawrence and they're a playoff team. Like I knew this was gonna happen. I knew he was elite.
yeah. So yeah, he had just like one fumble tonight, and then the rest was cake for him against the Jets. But that's tonight. But anyways, the Titans lose that game, and you were 0 for 2 at that point, and then
And I bet against Trevor Lawrence.
the Bills. You thought, hey, the Bills can win by 10 against the Jets. I mean, it's the Jets. And what happens? The Bills win, but they only win by 8, 20 to 12.
Jeez.
And the Jets hung in there until the very
Oh
end in
my
that game
gosh.
as well. That game was in the snow, and it was rough for the Bills. They get the job done. Me, on the other hand, I took the Vikings because they were playing the Lions. The Lions were favored by 2 in this game, and boy, did they show up. They scored 34 on the Vikings and beat them 34 to 23. So my underdog pick did not win. So I said, let's go with a sure thing. I like the Chiefs. They're playing pretty good football. Who are they playing?
Broncos.
They're playing the Broncos, who have scored a total of 1 touchdown through 8 games. Well, guess who showed up? It was Russell Wilson, and it was a
Let's ride.
and it was a battle.
Let's ride.
as Wilson got hurt, and in came Brett Rippon for the Broncos, and that's when it kind of the wheel fell off the wagon. But the Chiefs only win by 6, 34 to 28, and escape the Broncos on the road. And so the Chiefs were not a 9-point winner. And I go home over 3. I'm now 17 and 16. Mr. Murphy, or sorry, I'm now 17 and 19, and Murphy is 15 and 21. So we are rough in locks of the week, but we will give you 3 more to try to get back on the winning side of things for this week. Sportsbook wise, let's go ahead and hit up some of these bowl games and kind of recap on our way here. So I have our college football bowl mania pick'em pulled up here, and I have the picks right in front of me, and we see kind of how we did. So we each did 2 entries. All these were against the spread. None of us, except for me, picked Troy in one of our picks in the UTSA versus Troy game, and that one was a close one though. Troy gets the win, 18 to 12. UTSA was up 12 to 3 at halftime, and couldn't score the whole entire second half. The next game was UAB and Miami of Ohio. UAB gets the win, 24 to 20. As far as we are concerned, most of us took the Dragons to cover. I chose Miami to cover in 1, but we chose the Dragons to cover. They did not. They get the win, but they did not win by 8, so they won by 4, and that's kind of where we started. Not very good start for us. Then it was Oregon State and Florida. I thought maybe the Gators could pull it off. They only score 3 points, and Oregon State beats the tar out of them, 30 to 3. As far as this one is concerned, we all picked Oregon except for one of mine. So we did pretty good on that. We're 3-1 on that game. And that was, kind of a shock as well. I didn't think Florida was going to get blown out by the Beavers, but they did. Another game that wasn't close, Louisville stomps on Cincinnati 24 to 7. Yeah, we all picked Cincinnati except for one of mine that picked Louisville. So we go 1-3 on that one. Not good there. We are just starting off rough. Next one, Fresno State and Washington State. This one we all picked Washington State, and Fresno State just killed them, 29 to 6. So we just don't know how to pick bowl games at this point. At this point we had one bowl game right that we had picked, and that was Oregon State to cover, and they covered. All the rest of them just fell through, it seemed like. And then we had Southern Mississippi and Rice, and this one kind of went a little more our way. We all picked Southern Miss to get the job done, and they did by 14, 38 to 24. So good job there. Then we're back on the right track. BYU and SMU. BYU gets the 1-point win. 24-23. This game was very exciting. Mr. Murphy picked BYU in both of his. I picked the other side of that in both of mine. So we go 2 for 2, and Murphy can kind of hang his hat on the Mormons hanging in there and beating the Mustangs in a rough one. Next one
Projected,
was
yeah.
Boise State and North Texas. Um, we all picked Boise State, except for me. I picked North Texas in one of mine, so we go 1 and 3 there. So not good on that one. I really thought Boise State was going to win by more than 3. They win by 3, but they were supposed to win by, I think, 10. So they didn't get the job done there. Any takeaways so far from any of these?
Honestly, I'm surprised we missed so many. At least to start, I can't believe those teams didn't win, especially UTSA. Um, that's one of the big ones. Obviously, being up by that much, but like, wow, not looking too great. But at least we got a couple.
Yeah, so it keeps going. So Marshall and UConn. Marshall was favored, I think, by 10, and we all picked Marshall to win that. We go 4 and 0, so that's our first clean sweep other than Southern Miss. So
There we go.
Southern Miss and Marshall, those are the two where we just knew those were going to be coming through the pipe. The next one was Eastern Michigan and San Jose State, and you picked San Jose State in one and Eastern Michigan in the other. I did the same, so we go 2 and 2 on that one. That one was a good game for the Marshall Thundering Herd. They went 28-14 in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Or sorry, not Eastern Michigan and San Jose State, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. So Eastern Michigan gets the French fries dumped on them. Then you had the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl between Liberty and Toledo, and we all picked Toledo, except for one of mine where I picked Liberty, and we go 3 and 1 right there. So another good get for us. But then these last 2 days have been rough for us as we gone 0 for 4 both yesterday and today. We picked
Wow.
Southern Alabama to win by 8 on Wednesday, and that didn't happen as Western Kentucky blew the doors off of them 44-23. And then Baylor tonight gets absolutely throttled by Air Force 30-15. And Baylor was favored in that by 5.5. Obviously, Air Force gets the win there. So just some shockers.
Very much.
Yeah, so that's kind of how picks have gone for us. Not too great overall. Right now, Cole is looking at 6-8 and 5-8. I lead the way at 7-7, and my throwaway right now is 4-10, which is where I picked kind of the other side of some of the ones I wasn't so sure about. And obviously, going with your gut is the way to go, as I am at 507-7, and in the top 27,000 or something like that. I don't know. It's decent, but it's not great. 500 isn't great. But
I want to see what the top bracket is right now. Must look good.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Some people I saw the other day were 11 and 0 and hadn't missed
Ooh.
one. So on fire. I would think at this point you would probably have some losers. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull it up.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious. I'm like, what's the number one bracket looking like?
Go to the leaderboard real quick. Check it out. Right now, the top entry is 14 and 0. They are perfect. So yeah,
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 entries that are perfect right now.
See their other picks.
I don't know if we can see.
I just want to see who they projected to win the national championship.
No, you cannot see future picks.
Ah, tough.
So,
I wonder who they picked. I bet they picked Georgia probably.
Yeah, I think so. But good job for ESPN fan 11917141004. They are leading the way in picks right now. So as we look at our picks going forward, as far as against the spread here, we picked I picked Houston to win tomorrow's games. I can't see any of your future picks on here. I can only see mine. But we have Houston and Louisiana tomorrow, and also we have Wake Forest and Missouri. So those games will be coming up. Tons of other games happening in the coming days. We're going to pick 5 of them, and we're going to give you those for our sports book right now. The first one I'm going to go with is the Wisconsin-Oklahoma State game. I'm picking Wisconsin. And this spread right here is Wisconsin minus 2.5. So they are favored by 2.5. OSU's playing with their backup quarterback. None of their transfer players that are in the portal will play, so that means no Mason Cobb, no Trace Ford, no Dominic Richardson. Missing a lot of pieces. Wisconsin not missing a lot of pieces, so Wisconsin favored by 2.5. I am picking Wisconsin as
Ditto.
as my lock here. I have $310 since we didn't really put any money on last week, considering we had one game. So I'm gonna put 50 on that.
Yeah, that's smart. Wow, that's crazy that none of those guys are playing.
Cole's got 140 to play with. So who you got? Wisconsin or Oklahoma State?
I feel like I have no other choice. All those guys aren't playing.
Correct.
That's crazy. Got to go Wisconsin here.
Yeah, I would.
This might get ugly, and
Yeah.
I hate to say that.
Yeah. So
it's just those guys are like pretty much the team. Like you named off like all like the guys. Like
yeah. So the next game I'm going with is North Carolina versus Oregon. My Ducks are a 9.5-point favorite against Tar Heels. I think my Ducks have this. The Tar Heels have some guys sitting out as well. I'm gonna go ahead and drop 50 on that. How much were you dropping on the OSU game? Yeah, 140s.
40. Let's do 40.
Okay, do 40. Okay, so I got 100 left. I've got 210 left. So UNC and Oregon, who you got?
I gotta go Oregon. I think you're right here. I think they're gonna be the team that comes out on top.
All right. Next one I want to go with Oklahoma and Florida State. Florida State 7.5-point favorites right now. Versus the Sooners. And how much money you want to put on the North Carolina Oregon game? Do it 25 all the way down.
25 all the way down.
Okay. Who are we picking here? Florida State minus 7.5 or OU plus the 7.5?
I've been saying it all week. Boomer Sooner.
All right, Bush.
Boomer Sooner.
OU plus the 7.5. I will take Florida State and the points. I'm going to put 100 on that.
Ooh.
And that leaves me with 100.
The guy with the guy with OU be going against OU bad.
Well, I mean, and here's the reason why. You have a lot of guys on OU that are not going to play either.
Oh really? Who's not playing in that?
Not well.
They have Dylan Gabriel.
They will have Dylan Gabriel.
Mims?
They will have Mims.
Stoops?
They will have Stoops.
Eric Gray.
They will not have Eric Gray. No Eric Gray.
Ooh.
He's getting ready for the draft.
So no really dominant run game.
Yeah, no Marcus Majors, no Eric Gray.
No Majors?
No Majors. He's in a boot. He's injured. He's got a boot on one of his feet.
And then plus OU's defense is ass. Can I flip that? Can I flip the pick?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Boomer Sooner. I hope y'all win, but I don't think y'all do.
Yeah, it's looking rough for the Sooners.
Yeah, that's tough.
Here's another one that you're just gonna love, all the way down. Alabama minus 4.5 against Kansas State.
Oh yeah, of course. I think they're gonna win by way more than that. So obviously, I'll take that all day.
Okay.
I can't wait for that game to be over, so I can just tell everybody that I've been telling, like, this is why Alabama should have played USC. Everybody's like, K State's gonna put up a fight. K State, K State might win. I'm like, bro, Alabama's about to break the brakes off of them. Like, Alabama wanted to be in the playoffs this year. They're mad about that. Like, you think they're about to just come and get beat by K State?
Yeah, I think they're gonna lose.
No,
I got Kansas
you
State.
think them?
I got Kansas State.
Ah,
I got Kansas State. Now, hear me out.
ah,
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
ah,
So,
ah.
Alabama's got some guys that are getting ready for the draft.
It
They're
doesn't. They got a guy just like them at
and
roster spot number.
yeah, and that's what people are saying is it's next man up. It shouldn't be a problem. Well, I think Kansas State's going to be a problem. Here's why. I think they're going to milk this clock. I think you're going to see a lot of running from Kansas State with the quarterback position heavily involved, which has killed Alabama's defense, who is mediocre this year. Their defense was not good this year. Their
They get
defense
beat by LSU.
this is not the Alabama defense of the early 2010s. This is almost OU playoff bad defense. I mean,
They also got beat by LSU.
yeah, they got beat by LSU, got beat by
And
Tennessee. Tennessee, I can respect. I don't know about LSU as much, considering the poor fight they put up against Georgia. Um, I mean, just getting absolutely trashed. Um, I just, I think Kansas State's got a chance. Maybe they lose by 3. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they don't win, but maybe they hang in there. And the reason they hang in there is not going to be because they're the better team, not because they've got the better players, but because they're going to have better clock management than this Alabama team. We saw it in late game situations against LSU and against Tennessee. Bad clock management from the offense, and the defense couldn't stop anybody. And if you can't stop a team like LSU, you're not going to stop a team like Kansas State because Deuce Vaughn is going to go bananas, because they can't tackle. That's the problem with Alabama. They can't tackle this season. I don't think a lot of people are talking about that, but it's one of the reasons I think that they lost to LSU, and it looked so bad, is they couldn't tackle Jalen Daniels. He was running all over the place, doing whatever he wanted. And I don't think that Will Howard is that mobile, if that's who they go with. I doubt they're going to go with Adrian Martinez. I think Will Howard is the answer at the quarterback position for Kansas State, and I didn't say that coming into the season. I thought Adrian Martinez was that guy, and when he beat OU, I was like, he's that guy. And then what happened? He gets hurt again, because that's what Adrian Martinez does. Will Howard has, gets enthralled in the offense that he has ran as a starter for several games last season and looked good. And they kept winning and kept winning and kept winning. And then they beat TCU in the Big 12 championship game. Sure, it was in overtime. Sure, probably should have been a TCU touchdown. Sure, we can go back and if some butts were coconuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But that's not what happened. And they ended up getting the W. And that's why they're in this position. And I think they're going to make the most of this position because this is a huge recruiting game for them. And I think that they're just going to want it more. I don't think Alabama wants to play Kansas State. I think they're with you. I think they're like, we should be playing USC. We should be playing somebody of worth. We're playing fucking Kansas State. I mean, that's what they're saying. And they have the same mindset as you. They're just like, we're going to blow them out. It's going to be a 15 to 21 point win. And I'm sitting here going, I don't think so. Because Kansas State can tackle, and their offense is decent enough to hang in there if they milk the clock. If they run the ball effectively, get first downs, get 4 or 5 yards of carry, they're probably going to get more than that. Because like I said, this team for Alabama can't tackle this season. And I think that you're going to see Kansas State either come away with a win, or they're going to hold them to under 10 points at least. I just don't see. I think this spread is right. I think a 4.5 point favorite for Alabama is right. But I like the other side a little better. I just think they won it, and I think that that's going to be the first shock of games later on in this season. So that's my rant on why I'm picking Kansas State.
That's fair enough. I respect that. I'm on the other side of this. I have to take Alabama, and I'm actually very confident in this one. Can I move my 30 to this game and then just put 25 on the first one?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
I can I can do
I
that.
appreciate that because Nick Saban, he's been the head coach for a decade, and a little over that now. And he knows kind of like how to coach a team up that I just think they're going to be locked in. Like Alabama's going to be locked in, even though they don't have their guys. Like I was saying earlier, they're going to have their next guy up, and the next guy up at Alabama could go and start anywhere. So I think these guys are going to be ready to go. I think these guys are going to get it done. Really confident in Roll Tide. Said
Uh,
it.
all right.
I said it.
You said
I
it.
said it.
You said it.
Roll Tide.
Um, so obviously we'll have another episode before that game in particular. Um, but
If
I
I get
will.
this wrong, I you can come for me hard because yeah, if I get
Uh,
this one wrong,
so the last one I'm gonna do is gonna be a game that's gonna be done by next week. So we'll at least have 4 out of these done. Um, I might actually just have to replace this Alabama game completely. We'll keep it on here, but I'll do another game. I'll do a 6 game, just
okay,
because that game is not going to happen until the next episode, anyways. Because we'll have an
gotcha.
episode before next Saturday. Um, so let's go ahead. I'll add this one in here. Kansas and Arkansas. This one might actually be
Oh,
decent. This is the same spread here.
it's a good
Arkansas
matchup.
Arkansas is favored by 4.5. Um,
Is is Kansas quarterback back, and then is their running back gonna play?
so that's kind of the big question, right? Is what kind of I can I can I
Because
can look.
if the Kansas team is back that we saw in the game first 3 games, then I'm gonna go with Kansas. But if either of those guys are out, I have to go with Arkansas because I'm pretty sure all their guys are healthy. So I have to see on that one.
Um, so Kansas did get their quarterback back for that Texas game, right? And Texas rolled them
Mm-hmm.
55-14.
That was
Um,
bad.
it was not good for them. But it looks like, yeah, you're gonna get your starters back. Now look, this is a Kansas team that's lost 6 out of their last 7 games. They're
Ah,
not exactly hot right now. Um, it all started with the TCU game where starter got hurt, backup comes in, and they only lose by 7, right? And that was, our game of the week. We were so hyped for it. It lived up to expectations, and I think if Daniels doesn't get injured in that game, I think that maybe Kansas wins that game. But that was the start of TCU starting to find their rhythm. And then Kansas played OU and hung in there, but OU got the win 52-42. You're like, okay, it's still Kansas still not a bad team, right? Then Baylor comes knocking and beats them by 12. You're like, I mean, not a terrible win. It's Dave Aranda's defense. Can still, pump out excuses. Then they go play Oklahoma State when they were still ranked in the top 25, but they were down to their third string quarterback, and he ends up throwing 2 picks on their opening 2 drives, and then they get down 21-0 early, and it was all Kansas from there, and they win 37-16, beating the Cowboys by 21. And you're like, okay, maybe Kansas is back. And then they lose to Texas Tech the next week by 15, 43-28. And then you had the thumping against Texas 55-14, and then the 20-point loss at Kansas State that sealed their last 3 losses as pretty bad losses. Can they beat Arkansas? I'm gonna say no. I'm picking Woo Pig Suey cover the 4.
yeah,
I'm almost more confident in this game than the Alabama game. I think this is. I mean,
yeah. Now that you broke that down, yeah, I gotta go with Arkansas. It's really just it's not necessarily that I don't have belief in Kansas. They're a good team, and I think they can win. But with that track history, and how about Arkansas? How about their last at least 3 games? How have they won the last 3 or at least, or how
so
about
when it
Arkansas?
when it comes to Arkansas, if you're going to look at the other side of this as heavily as we are, I think you have to take their body of work into account as well. And we've done this on several matchups that I've picked correctly, and it ends up being either a really close game, and I get close to winning, or I end up being right. Now they've also lost 3 out of their last 4. They lost to Liberty by 2. They lost to LSU by 3. Um, They beat Ole Miss by 15, and then they lost to Missouri by 2. So you've got two bad losses, Liberty and Missouri, in there, bookending. I mean, to be honest, could this be a more even matchup the way these two teams are playing? To be brutally honest,
I I love this matchup. This is a great matchup and one of my favorite ones I've seen so far at the bowl games that are coming up. Man, this is tough. I just think Arkansas is a better team. I think they're gonna control the ball a little more. I think Kansas is gonna score, but what's the spread on this one again?
4.5. Arkansas by four and a
The
half.
Arkansas. I can really see this being closer than that. I guess I'll take Arkansas minus the 4.
So you think it's to
I
be
think they only
closer
won.
than 4? So
I
you're
think they
taking
only won by
Kansas.
like
So
a
Kansas plus 4.5 then.
Kansas plus 4. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they win, but by like Arkansas wins by like a field goal or like 2 points. Sorry, it's gonna be close.
All right, last game. This game is happening the same night as the OU Florida State game. OU Florida State will be in the afternoon at 3:30, and then right after that you'll have Texas playing Washington in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Um, this one is Texas is favored by 3.5.
Yep, hook 'em,
Um,
hook 'em.
Hooking them up, putting 25 on that one.
Yeah,
And
I think Texas is just the better team. No disrespect, but I think just with the way their offense is rolling, uh, and is any of their guys out at Texas?
Bijan Robinson is not playing.
That's they have another good backup, and then I think, yeah, I'm still gonna go Texas here.
So I'm going with Washington. They beat up on my Ducks, um, and they did a really good job. Michael Penix, the former Indiana quarterback that's now at Washington, he has the tools to get this job done. Quinn Ewers is mid. I think Arch Manning could take the starting job next year easily from underneath him, especially with Hudson
Yeah,
Card transferring out. We'll get into transfers here in a minute, but he's transferring out. Hudson Card is, and he's eyeing Oklahoma State really hard right now,
really.
which could be interesting as OSU just signed a 5-star quarterback from Arizona over the weekend, uh, as they are ranked number 69 in their recruiting class. Not very good. The only recruiting class worse than them in the Big 12 is Kansas. So, I think that's rough. Um, but I think that Texas is not great. This is not the Texas of the past, and I think Washington sees this as an opportunity to beat up on an iconic team. I don't think they're going to beat up on them. I think they're going to win by 10 probably. The Huskies have a good team, and without Bijan Robinson running the football, um, like you said, they got a good backup. No doubt about it. But it's not Bijan Robinson. I think that's the difference. I think you're going to have to rely on Quinn Ewers to throw the ball, and if Bo Nix can't throw against this secondary, I don't know if Quinn Ewers can throw against this secondary. If they play to the best of their ability. So we'll see how that goes. I got Washington. We'll see if Florida State and Washington get it done and embarrass the Big 12. And we just won't win any bowl games as Baylor just started off on a terrible
Man,
foot.
Baylor did not. Man, Baylor was just like, yeah, we played good all season, but let's just play like ass in the bowl game.
Yeah. So the only team that not even future Big 12 teams. None of them have won. Cincinnati lost, so you can't really hang your hat on that. Houston, I guess you can. They have a chance tomorrow to get something done, um, but we won't know as far as Big 12 future or present is looking right now, bowl game wise. But those are our sportsbook picks, so take them with a grain of salt. Take them with a penny for your thoughts. Let's get into the transfer big board, buddy. This has been kind of moving along. I've got this pulled up. It's fabulous. Um, I'm looking right now at the quarterback position, and right now the biggest one right now, Devin Leary, the NC State quarterback that was highly touted, going to Kentucky. What are your thoughts, and how do you think he fits in with Kentucky?
No, I mean, if that was the best fit for him, but I mean, I think he does okay. Uh, Backing up the guy who had just left, they're kind of similar playing styles, so it should be a good fit. But I don't like him in the SEC at all.
So here's another one that you didn't see coming, and this was kind of
After being mid in the ACC, like ACC, the SEC is not the move, bro.
now. I think the reason he did this is because Will Levis is probably seen as the best quarterback prospect in this year's draft. And I think
Yeah,
that Devin Leary thinks if you can make Will Levis look this good, I'm gonna look like a god, and I'm gonna
man.
and I'm gonna be at least a top five pick because you're gonna have Caleb Williams coming out, you're gonna have a lot of yeah, Bryce Young's coming out, you're gonna have a lot more talent next year's draft than this year, and I think Devin Leary is trying to set himself up um, for a decent showing, and I think that Kentucky will be just as good as they were this year with him. I don't think you're going to get a lot more wins with Devin Leary back there at quarterback. You're probably still going to lose to Alabama. You're probably still going to lose to LSU. You might even lose to Auburn. I mean, it just kind of depends. You might lose to Florida. I mean, who knows? Um, I think that he's not. Um, I don't think he's awesome, but I think he's an improvement from Will Levis, and I think we'll see that because I think he's a better athlete than Will Levis
Yeah,
is. Um, and that system works really well for average quarterbacks. So when you have an above average one, you can really make them look good. And I think that's kind of what we're going to see with Devin Leary in Kentucky. They're going to beat up on teams they should beat, and maybe they'll be more competitive in games against better teams, but I don't think they're going to result in W's.
yeah. Excited to see what he can do with them.
Other big board guys at the quarterback position: Grayson McCall, the Coastal Carolina quarterback, has not chosen a destination yet. Hudson Card, the Texas quarterback, has not chosen a destination yet. Colin Schlee, the Kent State quarterback, he transfers to UCLA. We'll see how that works out for him. He's a former four-star quarterback. Um, of course, Deion Sanders, who was hired by Colorado, his son is now the quarterback for Colorado. He is transferring from Jackson State. And here's a big one. DJ Uyunglele, the former Clemson quarterback, is now 100% committed to Hawaii. He is going to try to play for the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii and go back home uh, to where he's from to try to quarterback that team into relevancy. Your thoughts?
Funny. I don't know. Obviously, he was playing like it at Clemson. He was very mid, uh, nothing special. So he probably just got a little homesick. I feel kind of bad for him, but it's laughable because Hawaii will never be relevant. They don't get the guys. Hawaii is beautiful and it'd be fun to play there, but unfortunately they don't get those top tier guys. They get like a bunch of okay guys and maybe some good players every now and again, but he's not gonna make them very relevant. They're still gonna be irrelevant. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really the answer for him either. Other notables,
No, he's probably just
yeah,
homesick.
other notables. Brennan Armstrong, the Virginia quarterback, he does not have a destination yet. OSU, Oklahoma State, looking really hard at Brennan Armstrong. He's a decent guy. Luke
Where's he
Altmaier,
from?
he's from Virginia.
Virginia's quarterback? Oh, they were ass.
Yeah, but he didn't play a lot
Oh,
this
he wasn't even
season.
playing. Okay.
So we don't know how well he would. He apparently he looked pretty good. So we'll see
Okay,
how it
because I
goes.
was like, I looked at Virginia's and they lost like almost every game.
Yeah, they didn't look great except for against the Tar Heels, and they beat them. Um, but Luke Altmaier, the Ole Miss quarterback, he did not start this season. He is transferring. We do not have a destination for him. We talked about Jeff Sims last episode, the Georgia Tech quarterback. He
Hmm.
is committed to Nebraska. So Nebraska getting a very mobile dual threat quarterback.
Okay.
Um, a big get for Matt Rule and the Cornhuskers, as Rule looks to try to make Nebraska relevant in his first year. This could help.
Yeah, definitely having a mobile guy. I guess Casey Thompson's going to the league.
No, I think he's probably either transferring out or staying the backup. I don't know what Casey Thompson is going to do. Kyron Drones, the Baylor backup quarterback, he is transferring to Virginia Tech to try to get a starting position there with the Hokies. Great chance, as the Hokies are terrible, so he'll probably start. Um, let's see, Malik Hornsby, the Arkansas quarterback, he is transferring, so he is not going to play in the bowl game for
Hmm.
Arkansas. Um,
Oh, really?
but I don't know if that'll matter much.
They have a good backup. They have a good backup. Arkansas
Yeah,
does.
uh, Keaton Slovis and Spencer Sanders, both of them have not picked a destination yet. Um,
Is
uh,
Sanders still talking about Florida?
I haven't heard anything. They don't have a prediction set up for him just yet on 24/7 Sports, but a lot of talk about SEC for Spencer Sanders. Um,
I talked to my friend and he is unsure, but uh, that's that's my uh, best update with that. He just said he was unsure, so
yeah.
I don't think he's telling anybody.
So another good news though, that Wisconsin Oklahoma State game will have both backup quarterbacks. Wisconsin's starting quarterback Graham Mertz transfers to Florida, so Wisconsin's quarterback goes to Florida. That might not make Spencer Sanders want to go there, um, as Mertz is looking to
Hmm.
try to use new weapons to help him out. Drew Pine, the Notre Dame quarterback, he's going to Arizona State now. That he'll probably be the starter there, I would assume. Of course, Cade McNamara, the Michigan quarterback, he's going to Iowa to try to rejuvenate that dead in the water offense. Um, and Boise State's quarterback is leaving. He does not have a destination yet either. Um, JT Daniels, we talked about this from West Virginia. He is committed to Rice.
Is
Uh,
he now?
yeah, that's
That's it's embarrassing.
yeah,
He's not gonna go to the league. I think he's just trying to enjoy his last season as a college football player. Uh, he's not. I think he's gonna help the Owls win a few games, but that's not a good look.
yeah. He's
Uh,
a difference maker for the
from
Owls to win more games than they did last year, and he'll get to play big teams early on in the season because everyone wants to stomp Rice in week 2 or 3. Emory Jones, the Arizona State quarterback. He's transferring. He's a former Florida quarterback. He's going to Cincinnati. That's a big get for Cincinnati as they were really struggling without Desmond Ridder this season. Really couldn't find uh, the groove with Raider back there. He was not great. Jay Butterfield, the backup quarterback for the Oregon Ducks, is transferring. He does not have a destination yet. This one is big. Nick Evers. Um, he is transferring from OU to Wisconsin. So Nick Evers trying to go to the Big Ten and get a starting gig there. As Graham Mertz, like we said, is out. He's going to Florida. Um, but and the other good news is there's another Wisconsin quarterback. The backup Deacon Hill is also transferring. So Nick Evers looks like he'll be the starting quarterback right now for the Wisconsin Badgers next season. Don't
nice.
don't know if that's going to help their offense a lot. We really don't know much about how good Nick Evers could
Yeah, I
be.
didn't really see him.
So that could be a good or bad thing. The jury's kind of still out on that. Mike Wright, my early Heisman pick this year from Vanderbilt, is transferring. He does not have a destination yet. Jake Plummer's younger brother, transfers from Cal. He has found a home in Louisville. That will help the Cardinal out. He's a very talented quarterback. Did not get to play a lot for Cal this season, but he's decent. Um, Xavier Ward, the quarterback from Washington State, he's transferring to Sam Houston. He did not start a lot of games for Washington State, so he's looking to try to get that starting position back. Texas Tech's backup quarterback Donovan Smith is going to Houston, so that's a big get for them. He did a really good job in relief for them. He's the quarterback that led the Raiders to beat Texas early on in the season against Hudson Card and that offense, so we know he's not trash. That'll help Houston out a little bit. Um, Tulsa's leading stat guy, Davis Brin, their starting quarterback, the Tulsa Hurricanes. He does not have a destination yet, but he is leaving. Um, Jarrett Dagey, You know, Jarrett Dagey, he was once the quarterback at West Virginia, then he transferred to Western Kentucky. He's transferring once again and has found his home at Troy. So a once Big 12 quarterback, double transfer now playing for Troy. Um, it's just this is rough.
Hopefully, hopefully he found his home.
Yeah, hopefully he found something that'll work out. Um, as I'm loading more and more of these, you're getting smaller and smaller names on this list that you wouldn't be able to recognize. A lot of backups and stuff like that leaving. Running back wise, Marshawn Lloyd, the running back for South Carolina, has not found a home yet. He's still shopping around. Dylan Johnson, the starting running back for Mississippi State, he has not found a home yet. But the starting running back for Texas A&M does find a new home down just up the street. He's going to SMU to try to get some more carries for the Mustangs. Um, that helps out their situation a lot. Trey Sanders, the second string running back for Alabama, has not found a new home. He is in the portal. Sean Dollars, the backup running back for Oregon, finds a new home in Nevada. So good luck to him out there. Anthony Adkins, he transfers from Army and is going to UCLA. So a serviceman trying to go to a school where they can actually get drafted instead of getting sent overseas. Um,
Military draft. Oh, yeah,
I can hear you, man.
that's a crazy transfer. Army to UCLA.
Yeah, Army to
That's a crazy
UCLA.
transfer.
Yeah.
Army to UCLA. That's crazy. That's a big jump.
Other running backs on here, a lot of Oregon running backs leaving, um, but none of them that I. Byron Cardwell is transferring. He had a lot of carries this year for the Ducks from Oregon to Cal, so that's kind of a big get for Cal. As far as running back goes, there's not really a bunch. Stanford's starting running back is transferring to Iowa State, so that's a good get for the Cyclones as their offense struggled most of the season. Kobe Pace, the backup running back for the Clemson Tigers, is transferring to Virginia to get snaps. Um, he'll probably get a lot of them as they're going to probably struggle at the quarterback position quite some time. Dominique Richardson, the former Oklahoma State Cowboy and leading rusher, is transferring to Baylor. It's a big get for Dave Aranda
Nice.
as OSU's starting running back gets swooped up by the Bears and stays in the Big 12. Um,
They're gonna miss that guy.
uh, Sean Tyler, the leading running back in the MAC, is going to Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma State loses a starter, but gains a guy that led the MAC in rushing several years in a row. So a good get for the Cowboys. They've kind of made up for their poor recruiting day by loading up in the portal. Wide receiver and tight end wise, um, Dominique Lovett, the leading receiver from Missouri, transfers to Georgia. So a big get for the Bulldogs. They'll stay relevant. He's the top wide receiver in the portal. Same with Ray Thomas. He was a top 3 wide receiver in the portal. He's going to Georgia as well. So they are just sweeping up in the portal down there in Athens. Dorian Singer, the leading receiver at Arizona, is going to USC to give Caleb Williams another weapon to use. So he's got good stuff happening there. Leading receiver for Kent State is transferring to Penn State. He's a 4-star guy, Dante Cephas, and he's a really good guy. Trayshawn Holden, the 4-star wide receiver out of Alabama, transferring to Oregon. A big get for the Ducks, as poaching any player off of Alabama is a good get for any team. Chris Marshall, the leading receiver for Texas A&M, is transferring to TCU. So TCU being relevant, helping them out in the portal as well. JoJo Earl, another 4-star wide receiver from Alabama, going to TCU as well. So TCU loading up at the wide receiver position after the great year that their starting receiver has had all season, being highlighted. Deshaun Stribling, the starting wide receiver for Washington State's transferring to Oklahoma State. That's a big get for the Cowboys as well. So they, I mean, like I said, they're loading up in the portal. Offensive line's been dominated by the Ducks. They have a Texas transfer in there, and they got the top offensive guard in the transfer portal from Rhode Island. He's going to go to Eugene and go across the country to play for the Ducks. Um, what are your thoughts on the portal and just kind of how it's panned out for some teams? Because OU is in here too. They've picked up two defensive linemen, one from Notre Dame and one from Indiana. The one from Indiana is the lead edge rusher in the portal right now. So big gets for them. OSU gets a top linebacker from Tulsa in the transfer portal. Um, just big time moves for some of these guys. Um, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it helped a lot of teams out. Like you were saying with OSU having that bad recruiting class, but with OSU being the main uh, team to really pick up great talent and replace a bunch of guys with people who are still have great talent that are similar to the guys who they kind of had. So I think it added a lot of talent onto some teams. So it should help a lot of teams out this upcoming season for sure.
So when it comes to signing day,
Hmm.
this is a good kind of segue into here before we get our locks and go over a few more things before we get out of here. Um, so as far as 4-star and 5-star guys, um, you had edge rusher Mateo Ungale. He commits to Oregon. He's a 5-star edge rusher. You got 4-star athlete Micah Teese going to Texas A&M. Two 4-star defensive linemen are committed to Alabama. You got a corner committed to Miami. Another 4-star edge rusher to Georgia. Another 4-star edger to Texas. And another 4-star athlete to Michigan. Those are kind of the big, overall defensive guys. um, a lot of Alabama, uh, a lot of Texas schools down in there. Um, what is your takeaway from some of these guys on the defensive side of the ball?
It's expected to go to those top schools. I mean, being that highly recruited, they want to get their foot in the door at a place like that where they know that they're going to be making big time plays, and those are the schools that mainly you do see with that big spotlight. So I mean, it's very expected there. Like if you're 4-5, you're going to want to go to the best schools. So really expected there.
Yeah, and some big stuff. So let's get into the big names, right? So Peyton Bowen originally verbally committed to Notre Dame in Marcus Freeman. A lot of people thought that OU was in the mix, Oregon was in the mix, and so signing day comes yesterday, and Peyton Bowen picks Oregon, right? Oregon fan base going bananas. Dan
Y'all
Lanning's
really got some huge recruits.
hey,
My
it
bad.
gets better. So Dan Lanning is on Twitter smoking a cigar and listening to rap, and looks like he's just flexing on the fact that he got this 5-star defensive back to flip from Notre Dame to Oregon. Well, Peyton Bowen wakes up this morning and says, "I made a mistake. I shouldn't have picked Oregon. I'm going to Norman, Oklahoma, and I'm playing for the Sooners." And so the
Sounds
Sooners
like
steal Peyton Bowen from Oregon and are bringing him to Norman. And now Peyton Bowen, the
yep,
5-star defensive back, is going to be an Oklahoma Sooner next year. Um,
huge.
just huge news. Um, and I just have a couple thoughts on it. I just want to know, I know in this day of age, I mean, he didn't sign anything. That's the thing. He picked up the baseball cap yesterday with Oregon, but he didn't sign the commitment papers. Um, Throughout the day, they were trying to get him to sign it, and he just was putting it off and putting it off. I guess he slept on it and decided, I don't want to go to Eugene. I want to go to Norman, Oklahoma. And I don't hate the kid. It's hard to really hate on an 18-year-old kid for changing their mind um, on something that's going to affect their future for a big chunk of their life and could determine whether or not they go pro or not. Um, I just don't know if it's really an upgrade. right? Considering the situation that OU is in currently. Sure, you've got two big guys from the portal on the defensive line, big gets. Jacob Lacey from Notre Dame is a 300-pound nose tackle that's just a monster. The guy from Indiana, the top edge rusher in the transfer portal, OU picks him up. Brent Venables is going to have fun with sending blitzes with those guys. Um, but we know the big thing for OU has been coverage with the corners and the safeties. And a lot of the time during Mike Stoops' tenure as the defensive coordinator, it was the defense is too complicated. The defensive backs are getting burned and toasted, 4 or 5 times a game for touchdowns because there's miscommunication because of how complicated Mike Stoops' defense is. Okay, well, he's not there anymore. It was Alex Grinch. It didn't look much better. No one could tackle. No one was covering. So Alex Grinch leaves. Um, now you have Brent Venables kind of taking the helm here as a head coach slash defensive coordinator. Sure, he's got some help from their current defensive coordinator, but he's calling the defensive plays from the sideline. Um, has OU secondary been good enough to where Peyton Bowens isn't going to contribute? No, I think he's going to contribute immediately. But I think that you have to look at, is OU as a team in a better situation to put you in a playoff, to put you in the national title game? Could OU be that team? And right now the answer is I think Oregon's a better team than OU is to get you to that
Yeah,
destination. Um, what are your
I
thoughts?
I agree. I think the only reason why this kid did that is y'all already have some guys that he'd probably have to battle up against, and I think they told him you come to Norman and that spot's yours, like that number one slot's yours. And I think that's the biggest thing, at least for my recruiting process. As soon as I got to my college, uh, I was like fourth string receiver. So it was like just seeing that obviously didn't get me too excited. And I felt like uh, the people in Oregon were telling him like, "Hey, you're going to be a starter. Like you're definitely the guy." But like we have some guys that we're going to have you compete against. As far as Norman, I think they were like, "Hey, you come to Norman, you're number one. Like you're the guy." That's where I think that's why he flipped. That's
Yeah,
just my
I can't
opinion,
I
and
can't
that's my
disagree with that. I
speculation.
think you're right. I think you look at the recruiting class Oregon has, and sure, this get for OU launched them from number 6 in recruiting class to number 5. It dropped Oregon from 5 to 6. It was literally the difference between where they were
That's
at.
crazy.
Um, and it's a 5-star guy. It's gonna flip stuff. Um,
Yeah.
the other big flip was 4-star quarterback Austin Novosad. He was committed to Baylor and he flipped to Oregon. So Oregon gets the 4-star quarterback that they need to back up Bo Nix next year. Um, I think he's a really talented young guy that can sling the ball, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how he does not this next year, but the year after that. And who knows, he could transfer since he's not getting the starting gig. But I think he's pretty comfortable knowing that he only has to wait one season before that gig is probably his. Um,
Literally.
so that was kind of a shock, but not really. 4-star defensive lineman Keldrick Falk flips from Florida State to Auburn. So big get for the Auburn Tigers on the defensive line, and of course another big one was Deion Sanders' son committing to Colorado to join his dad
I
to be
know
the starting quarterback for the
they also got
Buffaloes.
Travis Hunter as well.
Yeah, Travis Hunter is transferring from Jackson State to Colorado as well to follow Dion, and I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. Um,
He's gonna get like half the team over there.
Yeah, and we kind of expected as much. I mean, you're a talented coach, and that's what got those players to Jackson State, and you guys were ripping off wins left and right, looking really good. Um, and if those players follow you to
Colorado,
Colorado, you're going to win more than one game.
yeah, Colorado is pretty much gonna be a Jackson State team that we see this year. Plus, they're gonna get guys from the portal. I think they're getting a guy from Alabama. They're gonna get a few portal guys as well. So it's gonna be Colorado's gonna be kind of scary.
Yeah, I think it immediately
Colorado,
makes
watch out for
Colorado probably
Colorado.
the fourth or fifth best team in the Pac-12.
They're gonna be beating teams this year that obviously people are expecting them to win, but I think they're gonna beat teams that people are like, oh wow, and like, okay, like wow, this is why they gave that guy all that money.
Do you think that
That's what people like
Colorado
to say.
starts the season ranked?
I don't think they're going to be ranked, but I think they're going to win the first couple, and I think they're going to slowly work their way in the top 25. But I got them not winning, but I definitely see them either finishing definitely top 3 in the Pac-12 next year.
Bowl game or
Early
no bowl,
projections,
bowl game?
yeah, both. Oh
Okay.
yeah, definitely,
Okay.
definitely, definitely, definitely. They're going to be like 7-4. They're going to be decent.
So yeah, the immediate change from Coach Prime is definitely being felt immediately for people in Boulder, and I'm happy to see Colorado be relevant. I'd like to catch a game up in Boulder. That stadium is beautiful.
Very
With the
beautiful up
mountains
there.
behind it is very pretty to go view a game
Yeah,
there. It'll be good to
imagine
actually.
just imagine just eating an edible and watching that game.
Oh, I mean, my Ducks traveling to Boulder, I would definitely make the trek up there to go see that game. That'd be fantastic. Um,
Edibles.
damn, yeah, and they kick my ass. Um, so so let's
But we're watching a football game, not doing anything else.
so let's go ahead
So
here.
it'd be fun.
And before we get out of here, we'll take a quick look at NBA and NFL standings, and then we'll give you our locks of the week, and we will bid you adieu for your holiday festivities this season, and we will um, make sure to give you our Christmas list. More subscribers, please subscribe. Um,
Like
we
and
would,
share, please.
yes, please. So let's take a look at the Eastern Conference. The Milwaukee Bucks are up top of the Eastern Conference now at 22-9. The Boston Celtics fall to the second spot. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now. The Celtics are. They're kind of falling apart a little bit, but look, we're 30 games in. We're less than halfway through. So I mean, we're still kind of climbing through the early stage of this season. A lot of starters taking rests and stuff. The big news though is my Brooklyn Nets pick is looking decent. We're on a
Yeah,
7-game winning streak right now. We're 20-12. We're now the 4 seed in the East. We've climbed from the 12 spot all the way to 4 in just a matter of a week. But we knew this was going to happen, right, Cole? We knew that there was going to be some shaking up where some of these teams at the bottom were going to find their way back into the obvious playoff conversation, right?
definitely. I'm just surprised looking at where everyone's ranked right now, and then with Golden State not even being in the play-in game, and then you got the Pelicans. Like that's just it's crazy. But I mean, I think you're right. Earlier, still early in the just looking at the ranking. So within another 30 games, we're going to see a whole nother layout. So it's a little too early to tell right now.
Yeah, too early to tell for sure. The Western Conference right now is led by the Denver Nuggets. So right now, my Nuggets Nets pick is not looking terrible, boys. We
Not looking
we
bad.
we are in the conversation of being relevant, but they're 19-11. But so are the Memphis Grizzlies. But the Nuggets hold the tiebreaker right now, so that's why they are 1, and the Memphis Grizzlies are 2. John Morant this week said they asked him what's going to be the hardest team to run through in the playoffs, and you know what his answer was?
The Celtics.
Yep, he thinks that the Grizzlies have the West. Nobody scares him in the West, and I think that's good to
That's kind
have
of
that.
that's a good mindset. But I mean, you forget about Golden State, buddy.
Yeah, even though Steph's been out and is going to be out for like 3 weeks with that shoulder injury, he's going to be
Yeah, but
fine by playoff time. There's
playoff time,
yeah,
man.
there's
Like,
there's there's no way that this holds him back. But right now, those are the 1 and 2 spots. So Nuggets, Grizzlies, followed by Pelicans, Suns, Clippers, and Kings. The Kings, could they be going to the playoffs? I mean, right
that was
now,
interesting.
the Kings looking pretty good. The Jazz, the Blazers, the Mavs, and the Timberwolves round out your top 10. Here's the bottom of the West. At the very bottom is the Houston Rockets. They are looking for Victor Wembanyama at their 9-22.
Ouch.
It's looking rough, but that's the way the Houston Rockets like it. The Spurs are 10-21, and the Lakers are 13-18. The Thunder are 14-18, and in the 12th spot, and then the Warriors are right above them at 15-18. So the Thunder and the Warriors almost have identical records. Did you ever think that was going to be the case this season? Besides 0-0.
It's got to be because Steph's been gone, but Yeah, I would have projected the Warriors leading the West right now.
Yeah, so last 10 games for the Thunder, they are 5-5, and the Warriors are 4-6. Um, over the last 10 games, the worst stretch though has been from the Charlotte Hornets at 1-9. Um, they have 8 wins and 24 losses. The Pistons are 8 wins and 26 losses. So you're really looking at Detroit, Charlotte, and Houston and San Antonio vying for Victor Wembanyama at those 4 spots. The Thunder not really tanking. Are you believing that the Thunder might be a playoff play-in game team this year and just completely ruin their chances of getting this guy?
If Shai keeps playing the way he does, most likely. I mean, he's dropping like 40 points like every game. Uh, and then of course we got Giddy, and once Chet gets recovered, I mean, I think the Thunder can be serious, and I think if we get a superstar guy, we're gonna be back as a playoff team. But until that happens, I think we're tanking. But if Shy is in the game, we got a chance to win. So I thought he was sitting out, but it would be best if he just sat down this season,
Yeah.
uh, and just dress up for every game and act injured. Because if that guy's in, the Thunder have a chance.
Yeah, he hits the game winner against Portland at the buzzer, and then they get another win against Portland by 3 without him. Jalen Williams looking great. The rookie, he's been carrying this team to their last 3 wins. Really, if it wasn't Shea, it was Jalen Williams, and it's been a pleasant
No,
surprise. For draft picks out of this year's draft, because right now the best one obviously is Paulo Banchero in Orlando. He's on a verge of becoming an all-star
walking
as a
bucket out
rookie.
there, he's been
Yeah,
going
he's
crazy.
absolutely bananas. And they're still bad too. They're 12-21, and he's still out there balling.
Hey,
So
how about Charlotte as well? What the fuck? They're like 12-20.
yeah, they're 8-24. Yeah, they're bad. They're bad. Um, but
LaMelo Ball, what's going on, buddy?
yeah, never lost. Um, but yeah, so that's the NBA in a nutshell. Our picks coming to fruition inch by inch. Let's take a look at your NFL standings here before we get into our locks of the week. We got a little bit to talk about uh, when it comes to the conference. In the American Conference, you have these 3 teams that have clinched the playoffs: the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Bengals. Did you see the Bengals being the team that was returning to the playoffs before the Rams? Because I didn't.
No, I mean they're a solid team, but I just can't believe how the Rams fell apart this season. Lose Matt Stafford, Odell transfers, Cup gets hurt. Uh, that's just very tough.
Yeah.
Back to back, no safety.
No. Yeah.
Um,
Not a
Baker
chance.
May- Baker Mayfield's your quarterback right now.
I
He's
look.
not bad, but it's Baker
He's
Mayfield, so it's kind of an ouch.
Well, it's Baker Mayfield without an offensive line or any weapons to throw to, so you're
No,
not really
literally.
giving Baker the keys to success, and you still beat the
Hey,
Raiders.
they
Okay,
beat the Raiders.
so he still had a game-winning drive against the Raiders. So there's that. So those 3
Yeah, it's
teams though,
been very crazy. Good job, Bengals. Though they've
yeah, good job for
been
Joey
pulling
Burrow.
out some good wins.
Yeah, 10-4. They're on a 6-game winning streak. The Bengals have the best winning streak in the NFL. No, they do not. It is the San Francisco 49ers at 7 wins in a row. They are 10-4 as well. They have clinched the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys have clinched the playoffs, and the Eagles and the Vikings have all clinched the playoffs. Um,
Figured.
so not a lot of surprises there in those 4 teams. The biggest surprise is just it doesn't matter who plays quarterback for San Francisco; they just win games. That defense is the best defense in the NFL, and it helps.
And when you have Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel in the backfield, it's hard to lose. I mean, it doesn't really matter who you have back there as long as you can get those. George Kittle.
Yeah, George Kittle. Yeah, you can't
Good
deny
team.
he's talented. Here are the teams that are eliminated from the playoffs. No playoffs for these 6 teams right now. The Colts, the Broncos, and the Texans are done. The Colts right now are 4-9. with 4 games to go. Denver is 4-10. We thought they were going to be a lot better than they were with Russell Wilson back there. And the Houston Texans go 1-12 so far. The Texans are pretty bad, but they almost beat the Cowboys. So they've lost a lot of close games, but they're obviously tanking for that top pick. They're looking at Will Levis right now, like, come on, buddy, you're the guy. And I don't think that's going to be the answer for the Texans, but they're trying. Um, on the other side, the teams that are eliminated are the Arizona
That's a
Cardinals,
big,
the Los Angeles
really?
Rams, and the Chicago Bears. The
Yeah.
Cardinals are 4-10 and do not have a shot.
They're 4-10.
And and
Oh, Kyler Murray's been out. Kyler Murray's been out. Kyler Murray has been injured, right?
yeah, he
ACL,
tore his
ACL,
ACL
ACL.
three plays into the game against the Patriots.
Colt McCoy's the backup.
Yes, he is. He was thriving until he threw a pick six, and then he wasn't thriving anymore. Um, the Rams with Baker Mayfield are eliminated 4-10. The Packers eliminated them from the playoffs last week, and the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields, probably the most electric quarterback in the league. They are 3-11 and have no shot now at making the playoffs. So right now, teams in the running: Giants, Commanders, Seahawks. Um, let's look at divisional, and that'll kind of lead us into kind of who's on the fringe here. Um, so really, Baltimore has probably clinched the playoffs. They're 9-5. It's really going to be whether or not it's Cleveland or Pittsburgh that's going to fill one of those wild card spots. Um, as far as the AFC South is concerned, it's Tennessee and Jacksonville both at 7 wins. Um, Jacksonville obviously clinching the playoffs tonight with their win against the Jets. So congratulations to them. The Titans are probably going to the playoffs for sure. And as we know, the Colts
Yeah.
and the Texans have no shot at all. Um, as far as the AFC West goes, the Chiefs obviously making it. The Chargers will make it. And Denver has been eliminated. Um, the Raiders still have a chance. They're going to need the Chargers to lose a couple more games, but they've got a chance to take that spot from them. Uh, NFC East, the best conference the best division in football record wise. The Giants and the Commanders. Giants at 8 wins, Commanders at 7. Both of those are duking it out for a wild card spot. Um, Green Bay and Detroit are duking it out for a wild card spot right now. Both of those teams are on winning streaks. Green Bay's won their last 2. Detroit has won their last 3, and Detroit has an easier schedule down the road, so they look like they might be bound for the playoffs. The Buccaneers, they're in the playoffs at 6-8. It's rough for the NFC South because all the rest of the teams only have 5 wins. But one of those teams is going to the playoffs, boys, and it's probably going to be the Buccaneers. And of course, the NFC West, you have San Francisco and Seattle looking to try to represent from the NFC West as the Cardinals and Rams are done so. So
Let's
right
be,
now,
let's be real here. We all know who's Super Bowl this year. We're looking at the 49ers Chiefs.
49ers and
The
Chiefs,
two best.
you're gonna call it right now. 49ers and Chiefs.
Calling it right now. Calling it right now. What's going to happen? Um, the two best teams in the NFL. That's what we're looking at for the Super Bowl. I mean, it's nice to know all the other teams and see where they're standing at, but when you really break this down in the NFL right now, it's the 49ers and we're looking at the Chiefs. That's the Super Bowl this
All right.
year.
Well, I'll give you my picks here, since we're gonna go with our way early. We'll do our way early right now, and then we'll do once the playoffs start, who we think, because then we'll know what the bracket kind of looks like. We can take a look at it here in a minute, what it would look like. Um,
Way, way too early. Yeah.
say what?
Okay.
What'd you say?
That is my way too early Super Bowl prediction. Oh, I said
Okay.
that is my way too early Super Bowl prediction
So
with the Chiefs winning it.
49ers and Chiefs with the Chiefs winning is what Mr. Murphy has. Um, and we will tell you those betting odds here in a minute when we do our locks of the week. My 2 picks from the AFC, I'm going to ride train. And I'm gonna say that they're gonna have to go through them, but I think they're gonna get it done because they'll be the home team. Give me the Buffalo Bills, from the AFC.
Really,
Give me the Bills being in the Super Bowl so they can lose it.
really.
I don't have them winning the Super Bowl because out of the NFC East, and this is from the depths of my heart. This is with my heart and not with my head, because I'm a true underdog story man, and it's the only thing he hasn't done. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom
Wow.
Brady
He
leading the
said it.
way, leading
He
the
said
way.
it.
Ted
He said
Tampa
it.
Bay is my Super Bowl champion, beating the Bills
Oh,
in this
wow.
Super Bowl. But it depends on their path. They're gonna need some help. Obviously, they'll probably be playing in the wild card weekend, and they might even lose that game. So it might not happen. But I think if he does it, he is undisputed the greatest quarterback to walk the face of the planet, if not the best clutch professional player in any sport, hands down, because right now
Yeah.
nobody is counting on him to pull that out of his hat. And last year, they really had a shot. You had it 3rd and long for the Rams with a chance to take that game into overtime, and Matthew Stafford found Cooper Kupp for 20 plus yards, and the rest is history. They kick the field goal and they go to the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady walks away. But you were that close to making it last year. And now
Yep.
everybody's counting you out because your defense stinks, and your chemistry between your wide receivers is ass, and your run game is pussy butt. I mean, there's just nothing going for you. There's nothing to even promote the fact that they could even make it to the NFC Championship game, let alone the Super Bowl. And if Tom Brady can pull a rabbit out of his hat, um, he'll get a standing ovation from me and the whole entire world, because he will deserve it. But that is definitely with my heart and not with my head.
Yeah.
Um,
I say
and
if that does happen, if that does happen, we have to bury Tom Brady. He has to be buried after that. Like that's
you,
crazy, bro.
he has to retire, right?
He's
You can't
50,
come
right?
back. Just retire.
Yeah, bury him. We'll bury him. We have to bury Tom Brady if he does that.
Um, so let's take a look here. Um, Here we go. I'm opening the odds right here now on DraftKings, and we'll tell you how bad um the odds are here. So right now the Bills have the best odds to make the Super Bowl at
Really?
as as a winner at plus 350. Or sorry, but plus 330. Um and right now the favorite to go to the Super Bowl is Bills Eagles. That's the
Bills Eagles.
that's the top two, followed by Chiefs 49ers. So your Chiefs 49ers pick is the second most popular outcome for the Super Bowl this year. So not too far fetched, right? So my Bills pick is looking pretty good, right? The Buccaneers are plus 2,800, but guess what? That's still the 5th best odds in the NFC. Fifth best odds. That's a better odds than the Lions, Giants, Packers, Commanders, Panthers, Saints, Jets, and Falcons.
Wow.
So, so not terrible odds, but teams with better odds include the Ravens and the Cowboys. They have better odds than the Buccaneers. Um, but on the AFC side, following the Chiefs is the Bengals, and then the Chargers, Vikings, and Dolphins. Those kind of the Dolphins have a worse chance than the Buccaneers right now. Vikings just a slightly better chance than the Buccaneers at plus 2,500. Chargers at plus 2,200. They could be kind of the dark horse. Justin Herbert played good football. The Chargers just seem to kind of shoot themselves in the foot at the worst possible times. It's been the story for them for the last 25 years, probably. Um, it's been rough to be a Chargers fan in my lifetime, and I don't think that's going to change this season. I think you're probably more on track with your Chiefs 49ers. Um, Now, if we get to see Bengals Cowboys, I'm not going to be mad about that. If we see Bills Cowboys, I'm not going to be mad about that. Chiefs Cowboys, I'm not going to be mad about that. But I don't think the Cowboys are making it. And
No.
and the thing is if the Cowboys
No
have
shot.
if the
Actually.
Cowboys have to play the Buccaneers, not only will the Buccaneers win that game, Skip Bayless is going to have a heart attack. Because
Yeah.
he is a Dallas Cowboy diehard, but he's also a Tom Brady dick rider to the end. Um, so I don't know how he's going to cope with that if that comes to fruition. Um, but if you look at the playoff picture right now, the way this would look as of right now, um,
You can also see the Eagles. Um, it's just I don't. I see them losing in the championship game for the NFC.
right now,
But I do like the Eagles pick as well. This could be a good. It's gonna be. I just think I got the rematch of that Super Bowl. I think it was back in 2019 when the uh 49ers played the Chiefs.
yeah, it was a great game. Um, Jimmy Garoppolo played very well. Um, see at right. Boo boo. Okay, so obviously, have this up yet? I think does it? Yeah, let's see. This would look. All right. That is last year. I don't know if there is a bracket that they have out that shows what it could be. Um, in the hunt to make the playoffs. Let's see. Look like right now. I don't know if they've got it up right now. Um, there are 7 playoff spots available on each side, right? And you obviously get a bye week if you're a 1 seed, right? So the
Right.
Bills and the Eagles right now would get a bye,
Mm-hmm.
and that would lead you with 12 teams. Um, so does the 2 seed get a bye too? Is it the
No, that
top?
2 seed plays uh the worst seed,
So the
which I
six
think is
seed,
we'll play 6,
and
and then
then
uh 3
5,
plays 7. Yeah, 3 plays 5, and then uh
4
4
plays
plays
7.
yeah, or no wait.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
think
that's right.
yeah. No, I think it's 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, and then 4 plays 5. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. And one gets a bye
Okay.
because right now the Titans are playing the Ravens, I believe, and I don't like that for the first round because I want both those teams to go far at least. But I mean, whenever they have the Chiefs in your conference, it's hard to fucking
Yeah,
do
and
shit.
and we don't know. So right
The
now
Dolphins are looking good too.
right now the Bills, um,
What are the Dolphins at?
the Dolphins right now are 8-6. They would play the so here's how it works. Here's how it works. So right now, um, the Bills and the Eagles would get a bye. And so the
Yeah,
two would play 7, like you said, 3 would play 6, and 4 would play 5, like you said.
yeah.
So the Chiefs would play the Chargers in the first round, and that's going to be a great game because Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes always have great games. So that could easily be the
Or
Chargers,
Chiefs play the Chargers.
huh?
Why would the Chiefs play the Chargers?
The
Would the Chiefs
Chargers,
get a bye?
no, Kansas City wouldn't get a bye as the 2 seed. Um,
Wait,
and,
who's won? Oh, the Bills, the Bills, the
yeah, the Bills,
Bills.
yeah, the Bills got the bye, They've got the best record at 11-3, and
I just went complete blank on that. I don't know why.
yeah, so it would be the Chiefs playing the Chargers, and the Chargers would be the 7 seed. You'd have the Bengals play the Dolphins, which would also
I
be a
like
good
that.
game.
I like that.
And then the Titans would play the Ravens, and of
I don't
course,
like that.
and of course, Lamar Jackson is hurt right now, so it would be
Of course, I'm pulling for my Titans, but like, I like the Ravens too. Like that's my second favorite team.
yeah, and the winner of the Titans uh, Ravens game would play the Bills.
That's just ouchie.
Yeah, so that would be how it looks on that side. On the other side, you have Philadelphia with the bye. You would have Minnesota playing the Washington Commanders right now to try to get to the next round. You'd have the 49ers playing the Giants. And you would have the Buccaneers playing the Cowboys. So they do have the Bucs playing the Cowboys in the first round as the 4-5 matchup, and then the winner of that would play the Eagles. So do I think Tom Brady could beat the Cowboys and the Eagles? Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott back-to-back? Yes. The answer is yes. I think Tom Brady could do it. Now at that point, you're still going to have to get through the 49ers. And I think that's probably where they hit a buzzsaw. I think the 49ers could beat them because that defense is just too good. If their defense is healthy all the way through, they can shut down any team in the NFL. I truly believe that. And so I think that if you have the 49ers playing the Vikings, which would be the 2-3 matchup, and you have the Buccaneers playing the Eagles, well, obviously people are going to think, well, Eagles and probably 49ers, because I don't see the Vikings being able to beat San Francisco.
Right.
But it could happen. Justin Jefferson's an athlete. Kirk Cousins has been up and down. I could see them beating them. So if you have the Vikings beat the 49ers, that's the only way I see Tom Brady making it to the Super Bowl, is if he gets to play Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, and then Kirk Cousins. If he can beat all three of those, then Tampa Bay could go to the Super Bowl.
That's their best route.
That's their best route. That's their best route. If they have to play the 49ers, it's probably curtains. But that's their best route. As far as the Bills, you just got to hope that either the Chargers beat Kansas City, because if they don't, I don't see the Bengals beating Kansas City, even though they've done it already this season. And I don't know if the Dolphins have it in them to even beat the Bengals, to be brutally honest. I just think that the Bengals are probably going to win that game hands down, and it's going to be Bengals Chiefs that we're going to see after the Chiefs probably beat the Chargers. And then you'll probably have the Titans having to play the Bills, which the Titans could win that game if the Bills Aggie out of it. But I don't know if I want to see Titans in Kansas City or Titans and Chargers. If it's Titans and Chargers, I'll be shocked.
We're looking at AFC. We're looking at it's going to be the Chiefs, Bills, and AFC we're looking at 49ers, Eagles for the championship games.
49ers, Eagles in the NFC, and then Bills and Chiefs in the AFC with winners.
And that's what I got.
That's what you got, Chiefs and 49ers.
And 49ers coming out.
We'll see. I mean, this is definitely
way too early. Way too early.
Way too early. The playoffs won't start until January 14th. So the wild card games will be on the 14th, and that'll be for the 7 seed. So, I mean, as of right now, even if you're looking at, the 7 seed right now, as far as, like we said, it's the Titans on one side, and on the other side, as the 7 seed, you have the Chargers. So, I mean, the Chargers could lose that spot to the Raiders. That would be the other team that could take their spot, and it would be Raiders and Chiefs instead of Chargers and Chiefs. But I think the Chargers are a more fun game than the Raiders would be.
It's gonna be the Chargers.
As far as the NFC goes, the 7 seed over there is oh God, I just drew a blank. Is Tampa Bay is a 7 seed there, I believe.
Oh yeah, I was like, I'm not sure who it was at the time.
And they're having to play playing in the first. Oh, they're playing in Dallas. They would be Dallas. It'd be Dallas and Tampa Bay, that 2-7 matchup. Uh, I think the only team they could lose that spot to would be the Panthers. The Panthers could come up and take that spot from Tom Brady if they finish the season strong, because they're at 5-9. Buccaneers are 6-8. Um, very much in the hunt are the Carolina Panthers and the Saints. Both those teams could take that 7 spot. But obviously, I would like to see the Buccaneers in there and not those other two teams.
Yeah, I think the Bucks got it.
All right, let's get into
Dallas as well.
Locks of the week. It's happening now.
Alabama.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do all 3 are gonna be NFL games.
Okay.
And we'll do one college game next week when we have the big games coming up.
Okay.
So here's some matchups for you for this week. We have games again on Saturday this week as well. We've got a whole slew of games on Saturday because no one's going to be playing Sunday for Christmas. Well, we do have one game on Christmas. That'll be on
Broncos.
We have 3 games on Christmas. Excuse me. We have Packers Dolphins in the morning, Broncos Rams in the afternoon, and Buccaneers and Cardinals as the nightcap on Christmas. The Monday night game for the 26th is Colts Chargers. But here are the Saturday games. That's the big slate for you. Seahawks and Chiefs, Bengals and Patriots, Bills, Bears, Saints versus the Browns, Texans versus the Titans, Giants versus the Vikings, Lions versus Panthers, Falcons versus Ravens, Commanders versus the 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, and Raiders, Steelers. Of course, the Eagles are having to play with Gardner Minshew at quarterback this week instead of Jalen Hurts. Keep that in mind. Against the Cowboys. Any of those games pique your interest?
I'm just trying to think about it deeper because we keep fucking these NFL games up.
It's so bad.
And it's hard because I'm just like, I just had a couple I wanted to go with, but now I'm just rethinking myself entirely. Let me look at it because I'm gonna look at them real quick. See if I can find some spreaders.
Oh, I got the spreads in front of me. I just wanted to know which matchups you wanted to hear the spreads for. It's like the Chiefs-Seahawks game is Kansas City -10. Patriots and Cincinnati. Cincinnati a 3-point favorite over the Patriots. The Bills are only an 8-point favorite over the Bears. The Browns are a 3-point favorite over the Saints. Tennessee is a 3-point favorite over the Texans.
Give me the Eagles over the Cowboys.
So the Eagles with Gardner Minshew plus the 4.5 against Dallas.
Give me the Titans over the Texans.
So the Titans with their backup quarterback versus the Texans. They are
give me the Bills the Bills over the Bears.
So the Bills -8 versus Chicago.
That was hard to guess.
Okay, so those are your 3. So here are my 3. Remember, guys, we are 17-19, and Cole is 15-21, so we're a little better than him. So listen to me, tune him out. I'm gonna give you the winners right here. Give me the Saints +3 against the Browns.
Okay.
I will pick against Deshaun Watson till I'm blue in the face. Give me.
Would you like a massage, sir?
Give me. Give me Tampa Bay minus the 7.5 against the Cardinals. I think Tom Brady can beat Colt McCoy.
Okay.
And for my last game,
Fair enough.
give me the Packers +4 against the Dolphins.
Packers +4. Okay.
I think Miami's falling apart. So give me the Pack. And those are our locks of the week. We'll see how they go. And we'll see you guys next week. Any closing thoughts, Mr. Murphy, before we get out of here?
No, sir. I think it was a great episode.
All right, we will get this posted for you tomorrow, and we will see you all. Have a wonderful holiday, whatever you're celebrating, and keep your stick on the ice.
Happy Hanukkah.
You got it.